Hello, good morning. Good morning. It is a wonderful Saturday morning. Actually, it's raining out there, but welcome to On the Couch with, of course, Dr. Diamond. We have Miss Rajanta, Miss Sanella, and we have Michelle. What is our responsibility is to educate our Black and Brown communities. So today, our topic is our continued series. So we're going to be talking about betrayal and the broken trust between friends. So before we get started, I'm gonna bring on my co-hosts today. So we have Miss Rajanta. Good morning, my dear. How are you this
Morning. I'm
morning?
well. I'm good.
We have Miss Sanella getting ready to come on as well. And then we have a special co-host with us this morning too. We
Good
have
morning.
Miss Michelle Matthews. How you doing?
Good
How is
morning.
everyone doing this morning? Although it is rainy out there,
Mhm.
but thank you all for coming on this morning, and thank you for virtual. Because I tell you what, I don't know if I would want to be out here in this rain. What y'all think?
Not
Mm-mm.
at all.
Not today.
No. Nope.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't the rain, I don't know now, but I'm not going to complain because we could have had it worse. What do y'all think? The
We could have
snow,
had some snow.
Ice. The black ice.
ice, yes, ice, and we are not experiencing any of those things. So you know what? I say, hey, we had a blessing. Now we're going into a wonderful season of spring. That's mine, spring and summer. I am looking forward to having a wonderful summer. What do you
Me
all have
too.
planned for the summer?
I'm gonna
I
go
don't
somewhere.
know. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna be on somebody's beach all summer. That's the
Okay.
plan. That's the
Well, I'm
plan.
starting my spring out. Going to Jamaica in a couple of weeks. Yes. Me and the
Mm-hmm.
family, we're going on a little vacation. My brother's getting married or renewing vows, and it's a lot of us. So we're very excited about that. It's family trip, relaxation. They can tour and travel and do all that, what you call them, excursions, all they want to do. I'll be relaxing on the beach with
Exactly.
my grandchildren. Yes.
Yes, that
Mhm.
sounds good. And you know, it's
Yes.
funny. I'll be going to Jamaica in a couple of weeks myself. Going to
Okay.
Vegas first,
Mm-hmm.
and then going to Jamaica also for the month of April. So I'm looking forward to
Ooh, where are you
relaxing.
going in
Yes.
Mhm.
April?
We're going at the end of April from the
Okay.
27th to the 30th, and then we're going to Las Vegas 2 weeks before that. So we'll be
Nice.
there for a nice event that we'll be attending. It's a surprise event, but we'll be
So you
Okay.
going.
all are
Okay.
getting your
Yeah,
hot girl
yeah.
summer started
Yes. Yes.
early.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Yeah,
mad.
that's right. That is exactly right. So, you know what? We're going to jump into our topic, but before we get there, we also had and celebrated Women's Month, and a part of Women's Month and what we discussed was about women in general, how we have good friends, what they mean to us. And when I tell you we want to end this series kind of strong, but we want to end this series with touching the area we need to go to today.
Absolutely.
Of course, we keep it 100% here on the couch, and that's what we'll do. This is what we'll be known for, is to be 100% truthful to everyone. So this is where we will begin. What is it like to be betrayed by your friends? What is that like? And how does trust gets broken and how trust is not gained? So there was a series of questions that I asked on our Facebook page, and we're going to be answering those questions as we go along. So let's start with that. What is betrayal?
I think betrayal is just first off, it's awful. It's heart wrenching, and it could be for me. It's like believing in someone and then them showing you that they don't believe you in the same way by kind of maybe a callous action, maybe being there for you when they should have been there for you, but they're gonna really kind of go and do something for someone else and it not be like about their word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
So
agree.
anyone else, betrayal, how would you define it?
I'm even
Hmm.
thinking about like
Yeah.
a ex boyfriend, a
It could
ex
be, yeah,
girlfriend,
yeah.
classmate.
Mm-hmm.
It can.
Mm-hmm.
I think betrayal is hurtful. Um, and it can ruin how you view people, other people. So it's something that I think that when people you betray your trust. We'll say that, because I've trusted you enough to give you a piece of me, and when it's broken, it doesn't allow you sometimes to give yourself to anyone else.
Mm-hmm. 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 I agree. I like the fact that you alluded to it can be broken, but it can affect you in the long run. It does. I've come across many women and those that I have worked with in counseling that they talk about their broken trust with other females, mother, sister, friends, and it's a lifetime, because when you go back to their childhood, that's where they ended up getting the broken trust happen. Yeah. And it lasts a lifetime. So it comes back to those of us that won't harm them in any way, but we're being put in that category because of the hurt. So they carry this long-term hurt that we're dealing with. So when you start off like, oh, I don't trust women, but you don't even know me yet. So where does that phrase come from? So, have you all heard that before? I don't trust women.
Absolutely. And I think just that lack of trust that we might learn or experience early on, it might limit us as we go on through our life. We're asking for help, or maybe not being in a relationship, a healthy relationship with this person because of this. Maybe I'm not going to go and apply for this job because so-and-so is the supervisor there, and I don't trust women. So it shows up in many different spaces in our life. It affects us. It limits us.
Yes. But I wonder if when you start a relationship with another female, you learn different triggers, and there are boundaries that you learn in just being with a male. Sometimes I think things get blinded from, I can tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, and then you hold it against me later. Or sometimes we're not mindful of the things that come out of our mouth. So if that's their trigger, why would we say something that triggers someone else? And it may not be intentional, but people take it intentionally.
Yes.
So being mindful of triggers, getting to know that person, not using their deepest secret that they stated to you or something that happened in their life shouldn't come back as a weapon. But if you are that type of person and you utilize people's information as a weapon, shouldn't you be checking yourself to figure out why you're that way? Because you shouldn't be that way to someone else.
But sometimes people don't know that that's their way or that they're doing it. Like, I don't know. Some people do talk to people and their intentions are to hurt, but some people don't even know hurt people. And I may not even know that I'm that hurt person that's hurting somebody else, but we never take the time. We tend to cut people off before we have a conversation. And I say that because I've encountered, a relationship with a female that I told her what my triggers were. I told her what my boundaries were. We've had multiple conversations. And then when something else happened, I was done. So some people are like, oh, that's harsh. But no, that's my boundary. And those were my triggers. And we did have a conversation. So the person can never come back and say we didn't talk about it. We talk about it. We talked about it over and over again. But how many times are we going to keep repeating the same thing, that what you do to me is triggering?
So I would say to that is when healing, and I'm hoping that that's the direction that this forum goes in today, about the healing level that we need to get to. Because think about it, a lot of the hurt that we have experienced, our first hurts have more than likely been in the home, with our sisters, with our brothers, with our mothers, fathers. Those are our the beginning of some of our closest relationships. So that's where that first beginning of the hurt comes. So then we get older, and then we try to make friends. We don't know really how to make friends.
Absolutely.
We're not taught that. I'm teaching that, but I got to think about it. When I was younger, it was the lessons that I learned outside. Not that, but I didn't have any sisters in the home. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much almost being raised as a only child. I had my brother there, but he was just doing his own thing, But those relationships, some of those hurtful relationships came from when we were younger. Then we grow up, and then we meet other people, and again, those triggers come. Absolutely. So those triggers come, but we're connecting to people like that because that's what we know.
Trauma bonded.
So we have to, trauma bonded. So we have to learn our triggers. We have to learn healthy boundaries. We have to not be so thirsty for friendships, knowing when people are out there to use us just because we're a good name. I want to be friends with everybody, but I had to learn. Yeah. Everybody doesn't want to be friends with me. Yeah. Some people are out there. I don't want to think like that, but some people are out there to really see what they can get, just to sabotage any and everything that I'm doing. But I choose not to think negatively like that. I want to focus more on healing because there's a lot of hurt women, men, children out there that we need to figure out how we're going to help to heal. Because I'm sick of all this anger. And that's it. Thank you.
That was good. I like that. All of that was good. And I'm gonna turn to our comments section for a second. So betrayal and hurt often comes in your inner circle. So I do agree with that. And you just touched on that. And I do want to go to that area because we do need to talk about what trauma bonding is. And we need to talk about what environmental exposure is. Environmental exposure is in our environment, what we're exposed to 100% of the time, what we take with us, which is the bags that we have. Now, they could be some good stuff in our bags, and it could be some bad stuff in our bags. But chances are we're dragging something with us that we never learn how to heal from. And that is, how was I treated as this individual? And when I go out, like Sanella said, into the society, I don't know how to really make friends because that probably was never really a conversation that I had, nor was I exposed the right way. Now, when we were kids growing up, when you go out into the community, you're going to have friends. And I think sometimes we have to prepare our kids that some kids are mean, because they are. And there's nothing wrong with telling them that. You're going to run into some mean kids. I have said that to my granddaughter before she went to kindergarten. I said, you are a sweet little girl. You are. And I say, stay who you are. But you're going to run into some children that are not very nice. And she would say, you know what, Mimi, this girl, she hurt my feelings. And I said, okay, and we'll talk about that. And it's important to talk about it, to get the feelings out, understand where the child is coming from. But who knows, in our households, all four of us grew up in different households. Did that conversation happen? Was that encouraged to happen? Where are we with that when you think about environment?
I don't think it happened for me. I just went out in the world and experienced my share of hurt, grief, betrayal. Okay, you can't say this person saying this, don't repeat this, don't repeat that. So a lot of things that I learned about trial and error, or like on the job training.
Right.
So that was a conversation that was held. My family was very religious. We only talked about God. Okay, I came from that type.
Exactly.
Even like you said, trial and error and growing up. I've always been a person to think to myself, treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
But even when you're treating people how you want to be treated, people still do you bad. I'd say that even in a relationship, even if you're with somebody for a long time, I am a true believer of love. So if things don't work out, I'm going to find my person. My person's going to find me. But then you have some people who feel like I've been betrayed and hurt so badly that I'm going to cut it all off. So they never heal from it, but they're not open to heal because they don't have, a lot of times women don't have other women that say, hey, I know you've been hurt, but let's look at it this way. Let's do it different and not look at, take the good with the bad with the good. You know what I'm saying? I think that I would always want to be that sister to another woman that I would need.
Absolutely.
You don't always get that. And when you don't get it, you're like, okay, I didn't get it, but I don't chalk it up to all women are the same. I'll give you all that I have until you show me that I can't give it to you.
Well, I would say I'm there now. Where you are, I'm there now. But my theory for really, I'm going to be honest. I didn't. I'm that person that you mentioned, Dr. Dharma. I didn't really fool up with women. It was as I got older and say, wow, those friendships are important to me. People started exposing themselves to me, and this could be helpful to me, and I'm helpful to them. So I'm not only now giving, I'm also on the receiving end too. And it felt good, but there still was that wall up there a little bit, to protect myself, which I don't want to call it a wall now. Today, I'll call it a boundary. It is what it is. I have to protect my emotions, my feelings, just like I'm teaching others to protect their emotions and feelings. Listen, nobody wants to be hurt.
Right.
But we do deserve, I'm a love person too. Like, I love. So my thing is, I'm always going to give you enough opportunity, but after I shut the door, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you as a friend or a so-called or an associate, as a person, should respect that.
Yes. Yes.
But people usually don't, because they don't have their own boundaries and they have their own hurts that they feel like they can continue to pour their own stuff onto you. Like I am definitely a firm believer. I am not holding onto anybody else's baggage. I am not your dumping ground.
Correct. Because you're taking on someone else's anxiety. You're taking on their problems. There's a difference between being a support system and a bag carrier or the dumping ground, the dumpee, because they want to dump on you and then come back and start judging you because you don't want to help them resolve their problem. That's not how this works. I can support you because I love you, because you're my friend, and you may need me to vent to, and I may or may not have an answer for you, because everybody don't have all of the answers. But having that door open where I can go to you and just vent about something, and then if you give me some feedback, I'll be willing to accept it. But check this out: not every woman is ready for that. Hard truth. I, growing up as a New Yorker, Sanella, you will relate to this. We are all truth tellers in New York. We don't give a damn how you feel. We don't care. It's just one of those, and we shouldn't be that rough, but we are rough around the edges. I don't know if it's the concrete jungle. I don't know, but I do know that we will tell you like it is. And then I had to learn how to curb that. I did, because a lot of people would say, oh, that's harsh, that's rough. And then I had to think about what I was saying to people. And then I had to fall back and say, okay, I can't be that forward because everybody's not used to me being that forward. And they're not or grew up like me. So I have to fall back. Now I have always been the observer anyway. So I'm going to observe your behavior. Then I know how to work with you. I know how to come into you or not. Okay, so I have to work on what I'm getting. What is your energy? What's your energy about? If you're not a welcome energy, I'm not going to go over in your space, because you're telling me that based on your body language. Okay, and other times you may want to try, because you never know, that person might be hurting, and that moment you're giving them a space to talk. So I had those moments where I said, well, let me just say hello and see what happens. And all of a sudden the person kind of breaks down and say, oh, I'm having a rough day. And I'm like, oh, maybe I have a sign on me that says talk to me, but you never know. So with women, it's hot and cold. You don't know sometimes, who's welcoming, who's not. Michelle is right when it comes down to boundaries. We have to understand, but the boundary does start with us. What boundaries do we set for ourselves, and how do we move forward? So I'm going to go to our comment section, because we got a lot of comments here, ladies. So
I knew that was going
to we got a lot of comments.
Really, because it's a trending topic today, actually. Friendship hurts. They're equating it to relationship hurts as well. It's just as painful, and I would agree, because think about it. So let's get to the comments. I'm excited. I want to see what's out there.
First comment says, healthy friendships should be reciprocated, support, encouragement, and truthfulness. Okay. Yes, it should be reciprocated. That is true. That's a balanced and healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
Do we get that, though? What's the truth here? Do we really get
certain relationships you do, I want to be able to be transparent with all my friends. If I'm going through this, I need to be able to be comfortable, because some friends we're not comfortable with because of the judgment factor. But I want to be able to be comfortable with my friends and say, this is what's going, like, girl, let me tell you what happened.
Right.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, and not sugarcoat it.
So I have a question. So when so we have a circle of friends, right? And you know that one friend is that judgmental friend. Why do we hold on to people?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be history. Like maybe this person you've had a long friendship with over time, and this person may not have been this way, but something happened in this person's life to make them this way. So now they've become totally different, and we kind of hold that hope, thinking they'll kind of go back.
That's where I was going. I hope that just like in a relationship,
you let them go.
You know what? That's
a new decision.
Question.
That's a you decision, I believe. You have to decide, you have to make that choice of, do I want to hold on to this? At what expense, at what cost of me holding on to that relationship? What is it going to cost me to continue that relationship? Is it going to put me in a anxiety, frenzy, depression? Or am I going to do a whole new chat where I only have those 3 friends and they're not included? That's weird.
That is weird. That is weird.
But then you're going to have to separate that. How? That's the healing process, because you're going to feel guilt about letting that go. Because like Johnson said, if you have a relationship, if you've been in a relationship with them and you have history with them, it's a little hard. Y'all probably did some things that y'all would never even tell anybody else. So y'all did some things together.
Yeah, take it to the grave.
Tell anyone else. Right. So then it feels funny to let it go. But after they have crossed the boundaries, then you got to do what you got to do. And you have to grow and learn how to heal from that, because you're gonna be hurt, because you love them, but they
but I think you know what it is for me. It's peace. I want peace. Yes. I don't all that negativity and all that other stuff. I don't need. So letting go and boundaries is not me being hurt. Sometimes we hold on to people because we don't want them to be hurt.
Absolutely. That's the other side.
Wow. It's so true. That is the truth. And it's a level of
now. Is that you? I apologize, Doctor.
No.
Is that you now, Michelle, or was that you? Because I could say I've made changes, so I'm there with you now. But I wasn't always like that. I probably was the type of person that would just hold on to people because I didn't want them to be hurt. Today, it's about me.
Yeah, that's how I am now.
So in the past, you have been. I say that because we have younger listeners on here as well. So I'm talking from a mature place, where I've grown up for in my past experiences. But I've invited some people to listen that were actually younger. And at that time, I'm thinking about back in my younger days, I'm just accepting friends. Still kind of keeping it
small.
I'm small.
And protected.
Exactly. So now I know there's a criteria.
Because it's peace. I think that as you get older, all you're simply looking for is peace. You want a good circle of friends that we can hang out, we can shop, we can travel. I can call you and say, hey, I'm going through this, or she could do the same thing. But as soon as I feel that negativity and all just things that just don't go with my vibe, I got to let you go. But we have to be comfortable with being by ourselves sometimes. And not a lot of people are okay with being by yourself.
Okay, so one more thing. When I looked on Psychology Today, because I was doing a little bit of research about it, and one of the this thing I want to share, this article, it was Betrayed by Your Best Friend, 6 Ways to Heal Your Heart. It was on Psychology Today. And one of the first things they talked about was to clarify the situation. So what do you think about that? As you're clarifying the situation, a situation comes up with a friend, someone who you consider a friend. Have you taken the time to clarify and see how they receive it? Are they defensive? Are they receptive?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. So even the one friend, we did. I had the conversation. I had it multiple times. And even when you say heal, I'm healed from my trauma, but it doesn't mean that
it went away.
I'm going to allow you to trigger me
Mm-hmm.
in that same instance because you continue to do what you want to do. But that's just like being in a relationship with a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I going to allow you to keep triggering me because I love you and I feel bad because you've experienced what you have experienced? So my thing is for people, go get healed so that you don't be that trigger for somebody else.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's right. That's listen, that's matter of fact, and that's to the point. Go get healed. That's right. Begin to look at yourself, because when you start having your insecurities show, that means your horns are showing. And then you start deflecting, and then you also start putting your problems on the person that's confident and care about themselves and care about you, but you're willing to bring that person down because you're miserable. Misery loves company. But go back to what Michelle is saying. Healing is important. You have to heal first before you think that you're going to go out here and befriend another Black woman, another woman of color. And we're talking about some Black women that just not going to take it after a while and say, I'm done. That's it. It's over, because enough is enough. Then we can get to the point where we can also say to ourselves, you know what? Our season is over. I had to get there. My season is over, and I'm good with that. It comes back to what Michelle and I have had these conversations offline about peace. She's exactly right. You have to know your peace is important. Know that and put that first. You know, so I agree with that 100%. I'm going to go back to comments real quick. It says, you have to show people how to treat you. People can only do what you allow. So ladies, what about this comment?
Boundaries. You know, everybody was raised differently. Some people may think different things are the norm, whereas in your home, it wasn't the norm. So you definitely treat people how to treat you. You do that through communication.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's very important to communicate your needs.
Absolutely.
Yes. What people don't know, they can't tell. I always felt that a listening ear was a running mouth.
So, let's talk about that. That's country. That's country. That's down south. That's how we were. You know, that's how we were raised. It's almost like what goes on in my house stays in my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I think
private.
Right, but what's the purpose of a friend? That's the
exactly.
You know, the friend is for those times, because sometimes I want to keep it all in. I want to share with my friend. That's, you know, friend.
Yes.
You know, I want that close bond relationship.
But that also goes on to the teachings of our babies. If we continue to say, don't talk about the things that hurt us, or keeping things private, they're going into generations and it just continues. Absolutely. So I don't agree. I go into relationships and I'm gonna give you all of me. I may not tell you the graphic details, but I'm gonna give you all of me, and I'm gonna be authentic about it. How you receive it and who you tell has nothing to do with me. How I respond to that has everything to do with me.
That's right.
So that just might mean that's the ending of our relationship and our friendship. But I don't think I have done anything in my past that somebody can't know about. And the things that I don't have done in my past, nobody knows about but me in my past. So it's not about keeping everything secret, but I think that we need to have those the conversation start at home with our babies. Not to be quiet, not to be silent, and not to, yes, some things are not supposed to be spoken to, because even my grandson, he's that way. He's like, well, my mom told me, and I told her some things he needs to tell his grandma, because if somebody's hurting him and somebody is doing something, we're teaching them, they don't know the difference. And sometimes we grow up and
Why do you
don't know
think
the
people
difference.
do that? Do you think people do that and say that to their kids because of the judgment that might come if someone finds out what you are doing in the house? Or is it like judgments?
So speaking for me, like if I had, so that conversation was about the whole pregnancy. They didn't want anybody to know, but I taught my children. I didn't teach my children to not tell either, because I wanted things to be different for me. So even with the abuse, my daughter knew like something was going on. So she would call 911. She would be the one that called the police. So it wasn't, and she wasn't chastised for doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of times kids get chastised for doing stuff because the parent knows they shouldn't be doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Stop doing these things in front of your children.
Right.
Yes.
Right. If you don't want it to be repeated.
If you don't want it to be, because they're little sponges, they're gonna put it out, and they're telling one of their friends. You see?
Right.
So
exactly. All right, next one. They drag their pain into each relationship they encounter. They don't mean to, but the issue was never dealt with. So it acts like poison until it's dealt with. So we're talking about the baggage. You know, you bringing in these baggage and you drag it into your relationships and or encounters. So that goes back to, even if it's a male and female relationship, the trust factor, and both sides can have trust issues because of broken hearts. Oh, I don't trust this person, but then you continue to go into a relationship. Why didn't you heal before going into the next relationship?
The same central,
same thing.
We need to heal.
But if
we push it under the rug and we try to find maybe new partners or new friends to erase that old feeling, and it winds up sometimes right back at the same.
That's right. It's seeping out, busting at the seams.
Seeping out. So you're letting all those toxins come out into your new relationship, your new friendship, not working on the old one or getting rid of it.
Right.
You know?
Or thinking that you don't have it.
Or exactly. That's even worse. Okay.
Yes.
Thinking that you don't need to heal and you're fine.
Because a lot of times people walk around with, I'm okay. Yep. I'm healed, and you're really not okay, and you're really not healed. But that goes into the friendship category about saying I'm not okay.
Right.
Where is your friend that you can call to say I'm not okay? And I was just glancing at one of the comments, and I'm okay with having a circle of friends that everybody is separate. Everybody plays a role. But what happens to that time when you want all your girls to come together and you as the person sitting there knew I told her this secret and I told her this secret. I can't be my authentic self because now I have to remember who I told what, or I can't. That's not a friendship to me. I think that a friendship to me is I should be able to confide in you without judgment, like we said earlier. And you do have a friend that you could cry with. I might not want to cry with you today, but I'll cry with the other person, but you may know what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? I just think that I just want all my friends to be in one circle. I would like that. Not that I can have it. I would like it. I would like my friends to be in one circle, and we have our sister day, and that's it.
Yes, in a real world, could that happen? Possibly. If everyone is at a level of understanding that you're going to bring possibly new people into a circle and you can't be offended by that, or you can't say, well, I don't like that person, but they haven't even said anything to you. The problem is the bond that they have with you is why they don't want to have a bond with the other person or feel like you're trying to take my friend from me. It's not like that. What it comes down to is that, as you stated, Michelle, each person you have encountered, you build something with them. That friendship, because you had to build one-on-one at some point, and then that's going to happen. But if your circle is growing and everybody's being brought together and really enjoying each other's company without judgment, without feeling like the next person is a threat to them, that's your security in you, because that person could come in and you don't feel insecure that they're coming to invade your friendship, because that's not what it's about. It's about the growth of the circle. So if the growth of the circle is a sister circle, let it be true to what it's supposed to be, a sister circle, not you feeling insecure. So I don't like this woman because she's coming in. What do you know about her? Nothing yet.
Right.
Nothing.
You feel that some friendships are territorial?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Well, why?
That's a good question.
Their past trauma.
Past traumas.
Yes.
Their past traumas.
So because because I've been hurt and now I got this really, really good friend, I don't want to share.
You feel
that.
like somebody's going to, yep. You feel like somebody's going to take your friend away.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
But then at the same time, that person can't be in that circle because they're looking at everybody else funny, or they don't trust. Like, I want my circle of women, like, you can have an organization of women that I don't think people know just how great Black women are, and how if we all just move, and how we walk into a room and we can take over a room. But I don't think all women think like that. They think self, how that makes them feel. So if I'm your friend, you can't be friends with nobody else, or you can't do this with somebody else because you didn't ask me to do it. I don't know if I want to be friends with somebody like that.
Me either. I don't.
Right, because that's the insecure.
And it may kind of stem from past abandonment issues as well.
Right.
You never really know what people have been through prior and what they're going through currently.
And trust too. That big T word. That whole trust. I believe mainly, like you said, based off their the past history, things that they've gone through, losses that they've probably experienced, and they feel like they finally found a good friend. Maybe they found a good friend, but you got to learn how to share that, right?
But they need to learn that, but I can't learn that for you. And even bringing somebody in, they can be the rainy day on everybody's day because of their attitude or their facial expression. So some people, you do have to, girl, you have to stay home this time.
Right.
I know it.
You can't come.
You don't like them like that, and it might be a little weird if you come.
Yeah, you can't come.
I guess you will find a better way to say that, but that's just the bottom line. It's gonna feel funny,
Absolutely.
Exactly. Like we'll do something later, but you can't do this with us today. I don't know.
Not this time, right?
But why don't we have to sugarcoat? But we sugarcoat things for people to make other people feel good, then it ends up hurting us in the long run.
It does. It does, because you also begin to build resentment against them, right?
Yes.
Right.
But also on another tip, I just thought about something. Some people have social anxiety too.
Okay. So social anxiety, speak to that.
When it comes to, being around others, besides that one or two friend that they have, they get uncomfortable when they sabotage the relationship, or they'll run away. So I think that comes into play mostly when you're going out and in that type of environment, not so much on the phone or FaceTime or something like that, but when you're going out and you're dealing with someone who has social anxiety and it's more than 2 or 3 of y'all, we like to go out with a group of women, like 6, 7, 8, a group of women, so we can all have a good time together. But then you have that one who you don't normally invite out because she has social anxiety, and she's going to make everybody else feel uncomfortable.
Yes, because they may not want to be there. And I'm glad you brought social anxiety up, because it's a newer word, but it's been happening. They just put an actual diagnosis to it. It happens. People don't like crowds, right? People don't want to go be bothered. So they actually, and it's more people than we think. So that would be like a big trigger once it comes to
and it's different levels too. There's there's different levels to it. Some people just really can't be out with other people, but it messes it up for them, because how do you make friends like that?
Right.
You build on these relationships.
But the challenge is to challenge yourself when you're in a state where you feel like Am I socially challenged? And if I am, I need to take some baby steps on how to do that.
Yes.
So that can begin in smaller crowds first,
Yes.
and then work your way up, because you're right. What damage are you causing to yourself? And then it goes back to what sabotaging behaviors would you have with your other friends to get them to not be around others. So, you brought up self-sabotage. That's a big thing too. When a person is that broken, they self-sabotage a lot. And then they bring that on to others. And they're willing to sabotage the relationships within a circle by saying, well, let me talk to this group of people, and then we can be against this group of people. And that's a sabotaging behavior, because all along you're self-sabotaging by saying, oh, I'm uncomfortable around these people, so I'm going to find a way not to be a part of something. But then you're trying to pull others with you. So that's an issue for me too, that there are a lot of people out there that I have encountered that are like that, self-sabotages. Then when you bring them into a circle, they break the circle apart, and they find ways to do it. So those type of people, and it goes back to what we said earlier, self-healing. If you become aware, because everybody isn't always aware of their behaviors, but say if someone has the courage to bring it to you and say, I notice you have self-sabotaging behaviors. You need to look into that, because you're doing stuff that's not cool, and you're affecting everybody when you're doing it. That comes down to judgment. You judge everything. Back to what Michelle said, if we walk into a room together, the four of us, we know we are the it, okay? But we walking in there together knowing that. We're not just saying, oh, look at Michelle, she thinks she all of that because she got that on. No. We walked in with our crowns up all together, and we walk in and know we are a powerhouse. So yes, somebody's going to want to come up to talk to us, because they're trying to figure out, who are these women? Who are they? Because they came in confident, and they're standing side by side with each other. And that's how we're confident, and we have self-care, we have self-love, because no one is affecting the other person, because we can all be in the same room at the same time. So it comes down to, who are you as the individual, right? So one of the other comments here too is, when people show you who they are, believe them. You're right. I'm learning that all the time.
Yeah, I know people say zebra never changes its stripes, but do you think they do? Do you think people change as far as friendships and the way we handle friendships and our journey throughout getting relationships going and keeping them healthy? Do you think we change, or do you think we kind of stay the same?
Possibly. I think if you heal and you find what's going on with you, then yes, you can change, because no one is above change. But if you fear change, then you're going to be pigeonholed. That's the problem. The fear of change. What does that look like if I step out of my normality, which is abnormality? Okay. So that's where the problem comes in at, is self. Look at inner self first. What is going on with me to make me feel this way, or why I can't keep friends? That's the other thing. Examine that. When you can't keep friends, is something wrong. It's not the friends, it's you, because each person goes away from you. You're the common denominator. Look at yourself, please. Look at yourself. Absolutely. Maybe I'm talking too harsh, or saying something that I shouldn't say, or maybe I'm bringing self-sabotaging behaviors in the circle. So start looking at you and see, reevaluate. That's what I would say. Reevaluate that. Let's see here. I have another comment. It took me most of my life to stop taking on other people's bags. I learned I can still love and support without taking on other people's bag that I realized was thrown on me to carry with them. If they aren't willing to lighten up their load and go through their own bags, or go through their own bags, why do I continue to carry their load? I had to learn to put other people's bags down, because it was weighing just as heavy on me, and it wasn't my things. You speak truth to power, sister, because I'm pretty sure the four of us have done that at some point. We carrying other people's loads, and it's weighing us down.
Yes. And my favorite term is, I got problems of my own. Like I got my own problems.
Right? I got my own problems.
I'm gonna speak for yours.
Well, I would say, ladies, to me, that comment to me comes from a person who may be involved in like the ministry of helps, you know, always wanting to be there, always wanting to be supportive, but everybody doesn't know. Again, it's the whole boundary thing. Everyone doesn't know how to receive or accept what you're giving. You know, so we get taken advantage of. I'm guilty of that. I'm going to try to help you until I can't help you no more. And you might even have to say, "That's enough. That's it. I don't want to."
And it's hard when you're it's hard when you're in the profession of helping. When you're really in the profession of helping, you carry people's stuff home. You're a natural carrier of people's stuff.
Yes.
Because you constantly want to fix people, which is why sometimes we hold on to people. Because we see we see good in people. We think that people are going to change, and if we give you a little bit more time, things will change. You'll change, and I think it comes with being a good person.
And that's true. And thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I received that.
You are. See, because you know that.
My new thing is, I'm not going to help you if you're not helping yourself. I'm not going to put more into it. Let me fix that.
Yes.
I'm not going to put more work into it than you are. We're going to do this together, because at the end of the day, we all need some type of healing from one thing or another. You know, we all need the support. Those days are over. I don't need nobody. Yeah, we can say that, but we really do. You know,
that's good, because we've been betrayed. People have been betrayed so much by other people that they do say, I don't need nobody. I have myself. And I'm okay.
Okay with that.
Yep. And then they get
just
lonely.
Shut the door and go into another relationship and mess it up.
Or they're just miserable individuals in general. Like that miserable person that you see at the store because of past betrayals. And hurt.
Yep. Pain is real. Pain is so real, and we can't ignore it. So when a person hurts us, we do go through that reservoir of pain, because it's a reservoir, because it's coming fast and it's flowing, and it's and you're trying to figure out, what did I do to become, have this much pain from this person? What is causing this? But then when you start really self-analyzing and just looking at the whole relationship, and those of you that are listening to us, you could do it just like anything else. Pros and cons. What is that person bringing to you? What are they not bringing to you? And what is the load that you're taking on? Because you're forgiving, and then the pain comes, and then it's like, what do I do with that? But here's where you're flirting on, I'm not trusting anybody anymore. That's when it becomes the problem, After reading a couple of these comments too, what do y'all feel about trust? It's not automatically given, it should be earned. Do you believe that?
You know what? I try to go into relationships, focus. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But people tell me that's me being naive, I try to give people a chance, right? I give people a chance, and try not to go in relationships with judgments. Just try to be open-minded to things. I guess I give people trust until they give me a reason not to trust.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's my motto. Yes.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't just automatically say, I don't trust you. It doesn't work like that for me. I work off of energy, and I learned that through the years, that we are people, we're spiritual people, and we feel another person's energy. If your energy is off, I can say, oh, it looked like you're not having a good day today, right? So I may not even bother you, but I may acknowledge that, I'm here for you if you need me, right? I'll do that. If I know you're standoffish or you're mad or whatever the case may be, I am going to fall back and leave you alone. If you're open, I know that I can walk up to you. So it's a lot of energy for me, because that observing person that I am, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, what is the body language telling me? because I don't want to come into your space and you don't want me there. And plus, I know me. If I feel rejected by you like that, then what am I automatically going to do? Just like any other person, you're going to go on the defense because you're like, well, you're coming off nasty, so I'm going to come back nasty. Instead, read what the person is showing you. And that's how you know to move around them. And then just so be it. Nothing is personal all the time. It's not always against you. It's just what you're reading. Okay. I can't say that for everybody, but I can say it for me. That's what I do. Okay. So back to the comments here. Because I'm going to read quickly now so we can move because the time is slipping and we do need to talk about healing too. Which one you want me to read?
Look at J.W. Piercy.
J.W. Piercy. Okay. I know this show is for the ladies, but don't waste any more time checking baggage. Become the baggage claim. Don't lose your peace giving pieces of you to those never deserved it. That's true. That's very true. Does that resonate with anyone, you know, on this panel and even in the comment area, those that's watching us?
Yeah, everybody's not deserving of our time, but we won't know that until we give it a chance, right? And then once we give it a chance, then we cut it off when it needs to be cut off. But everybody's not deserving, you know, 2, 3, 4 years out of our life, because then we look back, well, I done wasted all that time.
All that time
and investment energy.
And there was red flags in the beginning.
Yes.
Thank you. Red flags.
And we just ignored it, or they'll change, or no, you know, maybe I could help them. I could work with them, and you know, they could.
Yes, I can help them, but that goes back to us being helpers. That's what Michelle just said about. She said, "Well, if you're in the helping business, you're automatically going to do that. We are going to give people more and more chances." And prior to that, I can tell you when I was younger, mostly in my 20s, I didn't forgive you like that. Once you cross me once, I'm done with you because I'm not going to let you do that to me. Then I got softer as the years went by, and then I also realized too, being in the medical field, you're a helper. And that's what I did. I help people. Then I went on the other side of helping people again, go help them through their problems. So I too, and when I tell you therapy is really good, even if you're not in therapy yourself and you happen to be a therapist yourself or in any type of counseling, please apply some of those things to yourself because you're not bigger than the things that you learn. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I learned a lot of things, especially through grief and bereavement. When my mom died, I didn't know how to handle that because I was 12. But as I began to learn about grief and bereavement, I understand now. And you don't understand a lot of things until you actually learn it. So when I was learning it and teaching others, I was learning something from them. They were learning something from me. So when you think about relationships, do the same thing. What is healthy for me? What is healthy? What is not healthy for me? So we're going to move into what does healing look like before we're done for the day. What does healing look like, you all, from betrayal and broken trust in friendship? What would that look like?
Peace and a sunny day.
All right. That's one. Peace and a sunny day.
Yes. I would say closure. Closure, being able to see that friend, not be aggressive towards that friend, but just to be cordial, you know, to the ex-friend, and keep it moving.
Yes.
I would say forgiveness. Yes. Forgiveness towards that friend, but also forgiveness to yourself, because you may internalize some of the things that you've gone through. You may have some feelings about some things you could have done differently. So you also need to forgive yourself as well as that friend.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Peace of mind, forgiveness is important. And when you are forgiving yourself, just note that, I'm human and I missed the red flags, but now I see them. And use that as your learning experience and say, I'm going to take this experience now and not say I don't trust. What I'm going to do is isolate each person to understand who they are and where they're coming from, because you can't put everybody in the same category. It is unfair. Yes. If you're in a circle of women and you happen to see that person doesn't fit, that's a puzzle piece that really has to go. And you have to be honest, because at the end of the day, they're going to ruin everything that we're trying to do. So if we're in a circle of women who are so secured in themselves, and I can be around the next woman and I have no problem with that, but you have that one person and you've given them all the chances you can get, and say you started that friendship with them. As Michelle said, your peace comes first. So you got to know when to say your season is up, and it is what it is. And you have to live without guilt.
Absolutely.
So I have a question with the closure. What does closure look like? What does closure look like for you? And what does closure look like for you?
Closure for me would be me knowing that I did all that I can in a relationship. And you got to know when it's your time to say, this is enough for me, and know that I don't carry no guilt. I did all of that I could. You could put that olive branch out. You can do all that you can. But me, I have to be secure with myself to say, this is the end. And know that it can be painful. Acknowledge my pain about it and say, that did hurt me, but there's a reason why this is coming to the end. Yes. And I have to be okay with that. And that's me going through some of because there are recent changes that I had to make on my own right now that I had to do. And I was okay with it. And you got to do that. And I have to do it for my sanity. So having that closure is me getting back parts of me too, because you are giving yourself out to that other person when you exchange in that friendship, that energy, all of that.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said closure. I'm glad that we all brought up closure. That was good, Michelle, because sometimes we think that we can't close the door, or that maybe it's not right because of however we might feel, or maybe whatever upbringing we have. But we need to know it's okay to kind of shut people out your life. Let go of toxic relationships. It's okay to break up toxic relationships and just say no more. I'm going to take a stand and set in place proper boundaries. It's very important.
Yes.
For me, closure. For me, closure would represent like a self-reflection as well as forgiveness. I'm always going to stay with forgiveness, because I know that unforgiveness can lead to a whole lot of other things, that I'm just not willing to partake in. So I would go with a self-reflection and forgiveness, mainly of myself. Because if I let you go, I've already forgiven you. So I got to work on me at that point.
Mm-hmm. So with closure, I have another question. So with closure, we know we have closure with it for ourselves. Do we close the door and let the other person know we're closing the door? Can we close the door and just be like, I'm done. I don't owe you anything, an explanation? How does that look for you guys?
Depending on the situation. For me, depending on the situation, because that closure, without that closure and just shutting the door, I don't know how that could pop back up again, probably for me.
I just think communication is important.
Yes.
Let me know what's going on. Right. Don't have me waiting. Let me know what's going on.
Right. I think it's depend on who I'm talking to and the situation, because not everybody will be receptive to you saying, I'm going to close that door and I'm going to walk away. No. And sometimes I feel
we don't owe anyone anything. I don't owe you anything.
No. Right. Listen, I'm gonna stay black and die. That's it. I'm owing me. I don't owe because we're social creatures. Is why we're social with people. We're born that way. But do we have to give everybody an explanation why we exiting? No. Take a hint. You already know why. Chances are a lot of people know why the door is closed. There's nothing wrong with the person and they don't know. They know exactly why those doors are closed. But I do. I respect all of you by, each of you and what you're saying, you can communicate, you could do this. But again, I think it depends on the maturity of the person who you're talking to. But I do believe chances are they're aware. Once you no longer are in their life and you decide to exit out, there's no way you can't miss that. There's no way. But That's what I would say for that. And that was an excellent question. I love that question. It was good. Very good.
I mean, because some people struggle with that. Like, do I tell the person that I'm done, or you know what I mean? What I have done may be different than what you do. And I had a conversation with somebody this morning that told somebody, you did this to me, and they're like, I don't want to be bothered, but they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings at the same time. So I said, just take time for yourself. You don't have to respond. Just because you call me and text me doesn't mean I have to respond to your messages. I told you what you did, and that to me is closure. Yes.
That's it. That's it. And that's enough. So you did your part. And I have to agree with this last comment. I'm gonna read this last comment here. They know what they did. Why do we need to tell an adult? Exactly. You are an adult. You know exactly what you did. You know you went out and you did something you shouldn't have done. So you're aware of it. So I agree. Now, I'm sorry for all the comments I didn't get to, but the ones that we did read was very strong, very powerful. And we thank you for your comments, of course. And this series was very, very good. You know, it was a hard topic and also a rewarding topic because it gave a lot of these sisters and brothers that have been, you know, listening to us too, to see what it means to have a friendship. What does that look like when it is healthy? And then what does it look like on the other side when it's not healthy? And what do you do and how do you deal with that? And walking away with knowing that, you know, you do have resolutions. You can walk away and feel good about it, and you will feel pain. So let's not sugarcoat that you won't feel it. You are, because you're human. You're going to feel a pain. You're going to feel what they did to you, but you got to know that you can heal from it just like any other relationship. And when it becomes too much, then you have that true sister circle. Go to a person and tell them how you're feeling and just say, I'm hurt. And this is hurting me, and this is why. Because at least now you're going to let it out instead of internalizing. Because resentment comes when you internalize it instead of externalizing it and just getting rid of it, you know, and just kind of you're forgiving yourself and then closing it off and saying, now that I got it out, now I can go on and move on. So, you know, we really appreciate all of you coming on, you know, and enjoying this series with us. And we look forward to we into April already, so we into our next month. But you know, be sure to follow us, you know, on Facebook, YouTube, and especially your favorite stream. Michelle, you know, thank you so much for coming on as one of our hosts. You know, because that you know, it's great when we were able to pull other women in to our conversations that we have talked to in the past, and you have been on our show in the past. So that was very nice to have you on. So we would look forward to having you on as a guest speaker again.
Thanks.
And then yes, thank you. And those of you again that are watching us and, you know, listening to our broadcast, we thank you so much for following us and listening to us every 2 weeks. And we hope we're bringing you some great content, real life things that are happening to us in this beautiful, grand, hurtful society we live in. Okay, so we just bring you as much truth as we can. So ladies, before we end for the day, I'm gonna give you a chance to end with your parting words, and we will move forward on our weekend. So Rajanta, any parting words before we leave for today?
Yes, have a great weekend. I thank everyone, each and everyone, for watching. Hopefully you were able to get something out of this week's podcast.
Okay, Sanella.
Okay, I just want to quickly run over the 6 ways to heal your heart that I found on Psychology Today. Sure. Number 1 would be, it says to clarify the situation. 2, accept and process your feelings. 3, consider whether or not to process the feelings with the person who hurt you or the person you hurt. 4, decide whether or not you can forgive your friend. 5, recognize that there's no single right way to handle a betrayal. And 6, remember that it may not be what it seems. So a lot of those things we touched on today, and I just would admonish you to heal. Work on your healing. We all need it. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. And Miss Michelle, your parting words.
Thank you for having me. I do agree with what everybody said to heal. I think that the last part that I would ask of you ladies is to tell people where they can seek help when they need help. Because some people don't want to ask for it. Some people don't know where to look for it. Some people go for it and they go to the first person that's not their person. Don't stop at that person. Look for somebody else. That's my encouragement for somebody else. Be the person that you would want somebody to be to you. And Absolutely. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. And again, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for that that suggestion and recommendation. So those of you that are looking for help and you need someone to talk to, there are so many different avenues. But once you go on Psychology Today, if you are looking for a therapist and someone that is unbiased, you get the opportunity to talk to someone without judgment, without feeling like you have no one to talk to. But that is an avenue that you can go towards. If you have a circle of friends or a sister friend, this is the person you trust, this is your ride or die, please turn to that person and talk to them how you're feeling. Level out with them and let them know, because you don't want to carry on something you don't need to carry with you. And, you know, in the future, when you're thinking about friendships, everything Miss Sanella said to you today, please think about that when it comes to healing. Also think about the red flags, which is something she talked about earlier today. And in the end, you know what? It's all about you, what you allow and what you put back out. And just know that we are social creatures. We don't know everyone that walk into our lives, but know when your sanity and your peace come first. So look, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your holiday week, because you're going to have a day off. So enjoy and be safe. And we thank you for joining us on the couch, and take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining on the couch this evening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to contact Dr. Diamond, you may reach her at candidconversations.dr.d@gmail.com. Have a great evening, and we will see you on the next show.